Hi there, this is Trisha with Easy Emini Trades, and I'm going to go over Monday and Tuesday. And if you're interested in getting more information about the setups, you can just go to www.easyemintrade.com. And a reminder that the webinar is going to be Thursday, January 21st at 8 p.m. for those of you who have been asking for an evening webinar. So make sure to sign up early because the spots are limited. So this is Monday that you're looking at. Obviously volume light this week because of the holiday, but we have been willing to get into something first thing in the morning, that first like 3 minutes, because it typically will ignore all support and resistance. So this set up right at 9:30 and had an order in above the high of this bar here. Didn't trigger on the next bar, so I canceled. I should have just left it there. It was still valid. This bar was still closed outside the channel. And obviously it went on and somebody would have easily got their 3 points. So I did not stay in that trade, unfortunately, but the setup was there and it still was intact here as well. So the other opportunity would have been if you wanted to take the pullback here to the middle line and you closed above it, expecting just to get up to the upper channel. So basically you have about, with the room that's available, you could expect to capture about 3/4 of a point, expecting to get to the upper channel. Obviously, it continued higher, so that's the added bonus sometimes when you take those pullbacks to the middle line. They keep on going. Here we had a setup and entered in above the high of this bar here, and we know that we have resistance above us at 1225, which is a really strong area of support and resistance when you look at the daily chart. So that was our target, just up to there or a quarter under there, and traded up to it here but didn't trade through it, unfortunately, so never got our first target hit to exit the first third or 2/3, however you're managing your trades. So basically hung at our entry forever. So you had plenty of opportunity to flatten and cancel when it just would not go at a break-even trade. This was a trendline break that we took later in the afternoon, and I'll move this up so you can see it a little better. I like to have 3 touches on my trend line, so I've got touch number 1, 2, and actually have 4, 5. We get close below the trend line, plenty of room below us to the 50% retracement, likely that this moving average will act as a support area, so plenty of room to get there. Indicator here is in line. I did jump the gun a little bit with this being in line, and it basically, I flattened and canceled at break even or a quarter loss depending on how you got in and out. But the setup was there. It just could not go. It just did not go, but we did have room. It did finally go, but closer to 4 o'clock, so not interested in that. So that was basically a break-even trade as well. And this is Tuesday. This was not like the first few minutes. This was at like 9:37 when you get to close outside the channel, and you have the high from the previous day there above you. So not anything that I was interested in doing because that high was there. Now, had this setup occurred in the first few minutes, I would definitely have been willing to take that, because we know first few minutes it will ignore the support and resistance areas. But in this case, I was not willing to take it. Obviously, it worked out. It did ignore it. But again, personal choice, what you would like to do. This was around news, so nothing to take there. We came up to this area of resistance here. We actually created resistance here on the high of these 2 bars. We continually hit it. So we were willing to, when it could not break through there and came back under this area of support. Let me just make that a little bit fatter. There we go, so you can see it. When it came back and closed under this 1115 area, was willing to take that, expecting to get down to this high from the previous day of 1325. Then the next target would have been the 1225 area. And it did work out. It just took forever to actually to get there, and it did actually make it down to the 50% retracement. So that was basically just taking something because it was at resistance, touched the upper channel, and it was rolling over. with our indicator here. So entered just a quarter under this bar, and like I said, it took forever before it finally went anywhere, but it did. And that was really about all that you could do other than doing some range trades on your own. Now, we have been testing the counter channel setups on the Emini Euro, and so we've been just taking sim trades until I'm convinced, because you know me, I'm going to be cautious about it and make sure it works. But I've got the floor trader pivots with midpoints, previous day's high, low, and close, and it seems to hold up to those areas pretty well. So this is Monday. This is one at 10:22 thereabouts, and this is off a 116 tick chart. You can use anything that you want. You can use the 1 minute chart just like the setups on the ES, up to you. But same thing, close outside the channel. Indicator says okay, so you take it expecting to get down to this area of support. I'm working out the targets. I'm thinking +8, +15, and then trail a final third. So that's kind of what I'm working out. With this for a stop, using picking an area of support and resistance and just putting my stop just above or just below those areas. So not quite got that worked out yet, but working on it. Here's another one here. Wouldn't have been interested in this here because of the area below you, but you could determine how much space is enough for you, because it did work. Everything's in line to take it. You had to sit through a little bounce, but it did work. Here's another one that we did on Monday, and it took a really long time to work out, but it did work it out fine. Enter here, close outside the channel, and everything's in line to take it. Could have done it here as well. Looking at my longer tick chart or time-based chart, if I recall, there was an area of support right in this area, so I think that's why we waited for here. On Tuesday, set up here at 10:45 thereabouts, 10:45, 10:46, and you know you've got room below you to the floor trader pivot S1 line, so you take it and nice trade. Here you do have a close outside the channel, but you would have to decide if that's enough room for you or not. It's only like 6 ticks away, 7 ticks away, so you would have to decide if that's enough for you to take that or not. This is actually counter trend, but you do get closed outside the channel. Everything's in line to take it, and you know, if you're willing to try that, expecting to get up to the previous day's low or these resistance areas here, then you know absolutely you can do that. You'll have to decide that for yourself, what you're willing to do in the way of counter trend trading. So I hope that helps, and you can check out the setups at easyemintrade.com, and we'll continue to test the Emini Euro for a little while, and then we'll start taking those live trades as well. So have a great Christmas, and we'll see you next week.